All right, so today I want to talk about intermittent fasting a little bit. I made a video the other day about dieting, and I mentioned that I do intermittent fasting, so I've gotten a few questions on it, so I want to address a couple of those questions here in this video. First and foremost, intermittent fasting seems to be the diet of 2018 so far. I think last year it was keto, and before that was Whole30, and before that was paleo. There always seems to be a diet of the year, and the reason that is because everybody's different, and like I said in my last video, nobody, or not nobody, but not every single person is going to fit into the same mold when it comes to how they should be eating based on their lifestyle, what is sustainable for them, what gets them results, etc. So intermittent fasting seems to be the hit diet of 18 so far. So I want to talk about what it is and why I do it and why it may not be for everybody. It's very person to person dependent. It's very goal dependent. It really matters on what you're trying to accomplish. So what is intermittent fasting? Intermittent fasting can be, well, first and foremost, it's a longer period of not eating with a shorter period of eating. So it can be done in a given day. It can be a 16-8, I mean 16 hours of fasting, 8 hours of eating, 18-6, 18 hours of fasting, 6 hours of feeding, 24, or it can be done in a given week like this. It can be 5 days of regular eating, 2 days of extreme caloric restriction on 2 days. So there's a lot of different ways to do it. I do 16-8. I find that to be the most sustainable. Sometimes it becomes a 17-7 or an 18-6 on some days, but intermittent fasting is a tool to lose weight, first and foremost, in my opinion. And there's nothing magical about it. It is a solid weight loss tool if you can stick with it and it fits into your lifestyle. But it is not a magical diet. It is not a magical weight loss diet. What it does is it reduces the amount of calories you intake in a day by reducing your feeding window. So if I wake up at 6 in the morning and eat, and I don't stop eating until 8 at night, what is that? About 14 hours of eating? I'm going to fit a lot more calories in that 14 hours than if I have an 8-hour eating window. So now in that 8 hours, I can go off the rails and eat pizza and ice cream and drink beer and totally screw myself that way too. But when you do intermittent fasting properly, the idea is that you eat relatively healthy in that 8 hours. And it's really hard to eat relatively healthy and overeat in that 8-hour window. So what it does is by default, because you're restricting your feeding window, you're eating less. And when you eat less, you lose weight, lose fat, and so forth. So let's say that in that 8-hour eating window, I eat 2,000 calories. That is no different than if in that 14-hour window, if I don't fast, if I eat 2,000 calories, it's the same thing. I'm going to get the same result from that. The problem is a lot of people can't restrict their calories to just that 2,000, 2,500, 3,000, 1,500, depends on the person how many calories you should be intaking. But for a lot of people, if you eat all day, it's hard to restrict your calories enough to get results for the long term. So intermittent fasting by default shortens the eating window, lessens the amount of food you eat, you end up burning more than you take in, and you lose weight or lose fat. So that's the idea behind it. Again, so I don't want anybody thinking that intermittent fasting is magical. It just is a weight loss tool that helps you eat less. That's really all it is. And you're doing it by restricting your feeding window, not by trying to eat less at every meal over a 14-hour period. So if you're one of those that can eat less over a 14-hour period, then do that. You don't need to intermittent fast. If you're one that has a hard time with that, that's the person this is good for. I find sometimes if I let myself eat all day, I eat way too much and not even realizing I'm eating too much. A snack here, a handful of this there, 3-4 meals. Next thing you know, I've eaten 4,000 calories and I've overeaten for the day. Intermittent fasting keeps me from doing that. And that's the only reason I do it, not because it's something special and amazing. There are some studies out there that says that fasting has some health benefits. I won't get into that in this video. It's a little controversial anyway. There's no hard evidence of it yet, but there are some that claim that it can, through things like autophagy and things like that it can lead to some health benefits. But for the sake of fat burning and losing weight, it is just another tool to accomplish that. So that's what intermittent fasting is. Again, if you want more information, reach out and let me know. But I don't want anybody thinking this is a magical way of eating. It is just a way to eat less. And it's a way to eat less that works for me. So, and it works for a lot of other people, but it may not work for you or may not fit into your lifestyle. It may be too hard. Some people, they intermittent fast, after their 16 hours or 18 hours of fasting, they're so hungry that they can't control what they eat and they just binge eat a bunch of crap. Well, if that's you, then this is not the right plan for you. So, anyways, those are the basics of intermittent fasting. Again, there's a lot of different ways to do it. If you want more info, I'd be happy to walk you through it. But just something to think about. You can always do some research on your own as well. So hope that makes some sense. And if you have any questions, my email is furyfitness.jason@gmail.com. Again, that's furyfitness.jason@gmail.com. You can always check out our bootcamp website at furyfitnesswoodstock.com. And come check us out for a couple free weeks and see what you think. All right. If you have any questions, again, just let me know. Thanks, guys. Talk soon. Bye.